Hey guys, welcome back to the Joey Plays Games podcast. I know it's been a while since you guys have seen us. We had some technical difficulties 2 weeks back to back, and I apologize about that. It was totally on me. It was unforeseen circumstances. But, you know, we're back now. We're wrapping up WandaVision. Episode 8 was today, and there was a lot of news this week. So I cut down the news to the biggest pieces that we had to talk about. So, we're going to start with this little news piece about Blue Beetle. It's either Angel or Angel. Manuel Soto is directing the film about DC Comics' Latino superhero. This comes from The Wrap. This was reported on Tuesday, it looks like. Charm City Kings director Angel Manuel Soto is set to direct Blue Beetle, and it is set to film later this year. The screenplay is from Mexican-born writer Gareth Dunnett Alcocer, who wrote Universal's Scarface remake and Sony's Miss Bala.
There was a Scarface remake?
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. But yeah, Blue Beetle's been one of my favorite characters on the animated side of things, so I'm excited to see him in live action. But what say you guys? I want to start with Ronnie, because this hits maybe closer to home for you than the rest of us, but what do you think?
Well, I'm excited. I didn't know about this, actually. But Beetle, I don't know if you remember, Joe, but Blue Beetle was actually one of my favorite superheroes from the DC.
I totally forgot that.
Really younger because of Batman Beyond and stuff like that. Batman Beyond, Batman Brings, and yeah, so I'm just excited overall. It's really interesting. I didn't know that was happening, but I'm excited to see what they take. And also this representation of Latinos.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I totally forgot about that about you, but it doesn't surprise me. Blue Beetle's really cool. I love him in Young Justice, and I'm excited to see what they do in live action. We'll get to this in the next story about where I think this is going, and a couple other small pieces that we can tie together. But Matt, what do you think about this news? Does this kind of just fall on deaf ears for you, and it's another project that you're not really excited about, or does it interest you?
Oh no, this interests me. I've read some Blue Beetle comics in the past. I think he's a cool hero. Dude, he's pretty popular. It's about time he gets something as far as movies or shows go.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a cool character to pull from. Charm City Kings was supposed to be a really good film. It's on HBO Max right now. I will be checking it out probably this weekend, just because I want to see what it was like. It was supposed to be set in Philadelphia about a black motorcycle or a bike gang in the I don't know what the word is in East or West Philly. Nick,
I'm excited. I like Jaime and the relationship he has with the Beetle. I think that's something that I really looking forward to, because that's definitely a good place for comedy. I think it's gonna they'll hopefully hit home, and then also I think maybe if they do it with a younger Jaime, they can have the older Ted Kord maybe be a mentor, or maybe he'll be killed in this universe again, he's always killed in everything. But
yeah, I mean, I'd rather Jaime.
Well, no, yeah, but I definitely like Jaime more. But
if they play that off well, it could work like it kind of did in Venom,
a little bit
with the internal conflict going on.
But don't have it be clear.
No,
and
don't. Trust me, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Go for the Young Justice type of being the Beetle is very analytical, and Javi's no, we're not doing that.
Yeah, kind of like a Firestorm in CW.
Yeah.
All right, so next story. This broke 5 hours ago, and it broke shortly after I finished watching this week's episode of WandaVision. So and
both his heart and his soul.
I'm just really confused. So, for those who didn't know, Superman is developing, or WB is developing a Man of Steel reboot with Ta-Nehisi Coates and J.J. Abrams. There's no rumor on casting, no screenplay. They brought this writer on board. J.J. has, through his Bad Robot production company, has signed this big deal with Warner Brothers. He's supposed to be doing the Justice League Dark Universe as well. In a couple of the episodes that got thrown in the trash can because of problems, we talked about how they're doing a Constantine show. They're doing, I think it was Zatanna was the other one they announced. But this week also got confirmed they're going to do a bunch of smaller shows to build together toward a Justice League Dark show, which hopefully that'll make sense. But back to this story. JJ Coates, no, not JJ. Tanishi Coates is an American author and journalist. Gained wide readership during his time as a national correspondent at The Atlantic, where he wrote about cultural, social, and political issues, particularly regarding African Americans and white supremacy. So this was leading a lot of people on the interwebs to put together this with the rumor from 2018 that WB would like to bring Creed actor. Holy crap.
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, Michael B. Jordan on to play the Black Superman.
From Earth 2.
From Earth 2. Yeah, I don't know the name of the character. I saw it on social media earlier today, but I believe that's what they're doing. But in the original article, they also talked that Henry Cavill wants to get back in the suit. So this is a lot of mixed emotions for me. Because I love Henry Cavill as Superman. I really want to see where they could go after Justice League, depending on what they do with... I wanted to see what he looks like after Justice League, whether it be in the Snyder universe or in the regular universe. I just want to see Cavill keep playing Clark Kent. But we'll leave that toward the end of this discussion as we segue into some other things. Matt, I want to hear your thoughts on this. What do you think about this?
I really like Henry Cavill as Superman. I think when I think of Superman, I think of him the same way I think of Christian Bale as Batman. That might be a little controversial between me and you, but I don't know. I think I really like Henry Cavill. I really, really like Man of Steel. I thought that was just a really well done movie. I don't want to see another movie, like another Superman origin story kind of thing. You know what I mean? I feel like I got that with Man of Steel. I think they need to really just look past that now. But overall, I have no idea what this is. Pretty new to me.
I don't think anybody really does.
Nobody knows what this is. It's very interesting because it poses a lot of questions. If we're getting into the Earth 2 thing, then is it that this Superman, if they cast Michael B. Jordan and
or maybe they're
Robert Pattinson are in another multiverse, and they're just going to keep building out this multiverse thing. Which is where my mind immediately goes, because it says reboot, but in the same sense, it also reminds me of what they're doing with the Suicide Squad, where it's been called a reboot, but it's still using some of the same characters, and they're carrying over stories. So, Ronnie, what do you think about this? As every week we keep talking more and more about how crazy this is getting with the DC side of things.
No, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's classic DCEU, you know. No one knows what it is. But it's interesting, I guess. I don't know. I think Matt's right with Matt. I feel like I really like Henry Cavill's interpretation of Superman, and I really like the way they portrayed him in Man of Steel, and would like to see more of his character post Justice League, like you said. So, as if where it goes now, I hope this is more like a diverse thing rather than a solid reboot. But just more DC madness. That's the way I see it. Nothing to be angry about, but nothing to be super secure about either.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it. Nick, any thoughts?
The Batman director,
Matt Reeves.
He said he's pulling like specifically from a couple of things. So like he's
Long Halloween.
Do you think like if I know I might be missing the mark here with J.J. Abrams, but do you think he's doing the same thing and doing like All American Superman? That's the one
could be. I don't know.
Do you think they'll do the same thing of just doing like comic focused stories that they'll just do across the multiverse instead of trying to build a continual universe? Because that seems like they're all bark no bite so far.
I mean, I think this really depends on what Coates wants to write here. With his background in journalism on white supremacy and African Americans, I would think that he would lean into the Earth 2 Black Superman. But I really don't know. I'm very interested to see where this is going because it's slowly starting to take shape on what they're trying to do.
It's not.
Mentally in my head, it's starting to take shape because it's looking like they're just gonna keep doing these little things and together eventually. we're gonna get into a big multiverse story arc with Infinite Crisis.
Oh,
in live action, not on the silver screen, or not on the small screen, on the silver screen instead. All right, next story. These are 2 quick dates that got updated. Star Wars: The Bad Batch has a release date of May the 4th. First episode drops May the 4th, and then second episode drops the 7th, I believe. So this is the sequel series to Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Takes place after the season 7 of Clone Wars. Follows that special squadron of troops through the events of Order 66 and what's going on with them. And then Loki got a... I don't know if the date got moved. Some people were talking like it got moved. But Loki will be premiering on Disney Plus on June 11th. Are we all excited that these things are getting dates and we're kind of getting a picture of what Disney Plus is going to look like this year? At least through June? July?
Yes. Very excited.
Yeah, I mean, same thing for me.
You go first, Ronnie.
I think that shows Matt's excitement.
Yeah, I was just,
Ronnie?
I was just
waiting for
waiting.
Joey to be like, Matt or Ronnie. I'm just used to that.
Yeah, same. I was like, which one was gonna go?
You were lying.
But what's it called? Matt, you got this. What's it called? It's I like it. They're going back to back those.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see them come through. Is that a dull moment as of yet in terms of their shows? So I'm just excited to see what comes next, especially with Loki, seeing as how good these Marvel shows have been, or Marvel show has been.
Loki's gonna slap. Yeah.
Loki's gonna slap.
Yeah. I think it looks like 3 to 4 weeks. People were talking as the biggest thing, but I don't know if they were including Bad Batch in that. Matt, does this get you more excited, or is it just kind of like cool when we get there? I'll be hyped then.
No, I mean, I'm hyped for Loki because I'm just excited about any Marvel show coming up since WandaVision so far has been pretty good. I still need to finish Clone Wars, so I'm not huge on the Bad Batch. If I finish the show, maybe I would like it, but as of right now, I don't no reaction really. But yeah, as far as those two go.
Okay. Yeah, there's nothing else really to talk about there. And then the other huge piece of news we got this week was we got a Spider-Man 3. We got a little gag skit that the cast did that revealed our title. Spider-Man No Way Home hits movie theaters this Christmas. Does this title do anything for anybody? Did we see the little skit? Matt, did you see the skit, or was it just kind of a thing that you missed because you were busy with school?
Is the skit just like all the different titles that people were saying? You know what I mean?
No, that started the day before. So on the 23rd, Zendaya, Tom Holland, and the actor for Ned, who I can't remember off the top of my head right now, posted a bunch of fake titles. And then there was a Jimmy Fallon appearance the night of, and then nothing happened there. But this happened the day afterward.
I guess no, I haven't seen it then.
Okay. I'll DM it to you so you can look at it later. But
Okay.
It was just a fun little skit. The three of them walking through the office, talking to. They gave us another fake name, and they walked by the board with the real name on it. Ronnie, does this? I don't know if you saw that thing, but does this name do anything cool for you, or is it just finally reading this Spider-Man 3 hype train is starting to get rolling? Because we actually got some pictures too. In addition to that.
So it's kind of more like the Spider-Man hype train rolling for me. But the thing that I was mainly trying to look at was the other like reject names, and I don't know if any of those names hold any fruition to what the movie may or may not be about. But from what it seems, it feels like they are going to go with this whole, multiverse route. And so I guess seeing that just gives like a soft confirmation. I don't want to I don't want to go in full ahead saying like, yeah, that's what's going to happen. But it does feel like it's giving more of that nuance that it's going to be him trapped somewhere else or somewhere he shouldn't be, like maybe another universe or something. Who knows? But I feel like it just alludes more to that, or at least gets people buzzing.
Yeah. Definitely. I think they were also talking that he's got like maybe 2 to 3 weeks left on this. This is currently the end of his contract, but apparently the Sony Spider-Man sharing deal is on lockdown. So he's waiting for his contract to be extended for the next set of movies, whatever the hell they want to detail that as. But there was rumors talking about this picture in particular, that this bow thing in here could be a hint at Hawkeye, some version of Hawkeye, and the background looks similar to a setting in the Daredevil show, so it could be hinting at Charlie Cox. Otherwise, there was pretty much nothing else, but it was just a title drop. Nick, you're hyped about that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was like,
I
I'll let Ronnie kind of take the main stage on this one. There was a big Pokemon announcement, and 2 new games were revealed. One's a remaster of an old game. One's a new game. I know, Matt, you're kind of into Pokemon, so I'll let you guys kind of lead this discussion.
This is Ronnie's expertise. Let him take the main stage.
All right. Well, I'll give Ronnie a solid 2 minutes to say what he's got to say about this. What do you think about these announcements?
So as far as the remake goes, that's what's really been dividing fans. A lot of them are really against it. Some don't like it. Some are like, "Oh, it's cute. I like new chibi art style." But people, I guess, were expecting were to be a game that was more reference to the current game that they have, Sword and Shield, that looks a lot more like that game's design, graphics, details, and whatever. I personally, I'm fine with them having these remakes be a little bit more, just one-to-one remake of the original game, nothing extra added on, maybe just to tweak it a little bit. I'm fine with that because of the announcement of the second game, the Legends of Arceus game that they're announcing alongside of it. Seeing as that's the biggest graphical jump that Pokemon has taken since going from 2D to 3D, and seeing that the main developer of the company for the game is working on that and putting all their resources into that. As long as that's what's being done, I am 100% fine with these remakes being a little bit less than what people expected, because that is what I'm looking forward to. I feel like there are some fans, like Owen, who is not here today, that may not be as happy about that because they wanted these remakes of these beloved games in the franchise to be the highest to the highest degree possible. But at the end of the day, it's clear that their focus is moving forward with this bigger graphical jump in the Legends game. And if that does well, I hope that the future of the games goes in that direction. I don't need to replay a game that I've already played such graphical details again. If I can get a whole story with amazing graphics in the same region, which is what these games will bring us. So I'm very excited to see what those games bring. I'm not as angry as some fans about remakes. I feel like those will do just fine for what they are supposed to be. But yeah, that's my.
Yeah, I mean, Nick and I are excited about the RPG open world thing. I've never really been into Pokemon, and this is a thing that it seems like I'm down to play and explore.
Ronnie, what do you think about, like, I've seen some of the talk of being like the open world one, the graphics didn't look the best. Do you think they need to put out like a higher fidelity Nintendo console to actually like?
I think that could go.
Do you think that's gonna happen, or do you think they're gonna be like, it looks the best that we can get it on the Switch, and then they're just gonna go with that?
This could be a lead to a Switch too.
So I feel like I really don't know. I never considered the idea of creating a new Switch or a further development of the Switch so recent, because I feel like Nintendo is very much known for sticking with a console for a long time. Like with the Wii and the Wii U, while the Wii U was a different console, sure, at the end of the day, it was almost like a graphical improvement of what the Wii already was, in the similar vein of what Xbox One was to Xbox One S, right? So I don't know if they would make another Switch or an update to the Switch for it, but I feel like since they've already accomplished a similar goal with things such as like A Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and how they're taking their time with the development of that, I feel like going forward, they're going to try to get it to as good as it can get on the Switch and keep it to that level until there's some kind of big hardware upgrade. But I feel like for now, it's a matter of catch up with Pokemon, seeing as other games on the Switch have performed had a lot more better graphics than Pokemon has recently, and already being on the Switch, like mentioned before, Legend of Zelda. So I think like Pokemon just has to catch up first, get that done right, perfect it, and then once it's perfected, move that. So they're just perfecting right now. I hope they spend their good time working on this to get it done right. If they have to delay it, I hope they're not afraid to delay it a little bit more, like maybe even the end of 2022, because they originally put it for a release of early 2022. If they put the end of it, I'm fine with that. I just want to believe.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I would rather a good game than a bad game. All right, I mean, we kind of hit on a lot of news this week. There was a lot of news that we've missed over the last couple of weeks because of the technical issues, but hopefully because we're back, we won't be missing anymore. We did not talk about the new Superman show, but I was the only one that watched it, I'm pretty sure. So there could be a video in the future of me talking about that. The video that's more likely is the Snyder Cut video. But let's get into WandaVision Episode 8. This week's episode was... the last 5-10 minutes were wild. But they were really important story-wise and thematically, and had a lot of great acting moments in it. Nick, I want you to start us off with here. What did you think about the episode? Because we didn't really talk about it a whole lot. We talked very surface level after I finished
think
watching.
They did a great job of. I think they set up Agnes to show like what her true colors are. Because up to this point, we really didn't see like who she was as a person. We kind of saw that with her Salem Witch trials, and I was like, oh, that's that. I don't know, that's like a part of her character, but it's like that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just thought
that looked so corny to me.
It looked corny. I don't
think they pulled that off very well. But I understood what they were going through.
I know what they were going through. And also, it's like some of this stuff is like it's a TV budget. They have okay. No, it's a difference between having it's a movie budget over whatever. I don't feel like talking about that, but it's just I thought that was good, and I thought they're just giving Wanda the short end of the stick at every chance they can get. It's like she's been drinking the juice because she thinks she's the end all be all because of like what she's been doing with the bubble, and she's like she felt her powers be like at a not an all-time high because she didn't really know what was happening, but she's like she knew it was because of her, and then her powers were like off the charts, over 9,000. But then Agnes was like, nah, fam, that ain't it. And then it just went through her whole history, and it was just like, no, here's just all the sad things. Here you go break your heart. And then the end, where the kids were being choked, where I feel like they could have just kind of ran backwards.
Yeah, that's I saw somebody on Twitter go.
I was like,
they could have just walked backwards.
Yeah, all right, whatever.
Matt, what do you think? You have been one of the biggest critics on this podcast of this show. Not huge critic, but like you've been a critic on the show. What did you think
you
about
can say
all
it. I'm an asshole, all right?
But no, I'm trying not to say that.
I'm playing, but this episode, I feel like obviously it answered a lot of questions. The sitcom thing, I was kind of expecting something along those lines where she probably connected with it as a child or something. I don't know. I like this episode. I agree with you on the Salem thing. I thought that was pretty corny. It's like, of course, it's like it has to be the one place where like there were witches and shit. I don't know. I thought it was corny.
I could not wait for that to be over. I was like, please just get this done with.
Yeah,
and move on.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know if it was just me, but her scream was like so. It sounded so fake to me. I don't know what it was. I don't know if you know.
To me, it looked terrible.
I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was her realizing that they weren't actually hurting her, so she was letting them on for a little bit, being like,
Yeah, I think she was faking it. Is what it was. All
right, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
The rest of y'all die. Mom died. Mom dead too.
I feel like they could have incorporated the whole. There's witches and there's this magical kind of thing. Just a little better. I don't know. That's just me. But overall, a good episode.
All right. Ronnie, what did you think? You don't have to talk about the witches. Don't feel like you have to. Oh, dear.
Little audio issue.
Yeah. Ronnie, we can't... we can't hear you, Ronnie.
Oh, dear. Ronnie's cracked. Okay. You can type in the chat if you want, but you can try to fix it.
All right. Hopefully that...
Type everything and I'll relay the message.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bruh. Ronnie said bruh.
Yeah, all caps, bro. That's how you know he's really feeling it. He didn't hate the witches. Of course.
Yeah, I wasn't the
Didn't
only
hate
one. I didn't loved it, but I was like, I thought it was cool. Whatever. Hate is gonna hate.
All right, well, I'll fill while Ronnie types.
She looked dope at the end, though. She looked cool at the end.
Yeah, I mean,
I liked her
like the last 2 seconds was why I was okay with it.
The little pearl thing feels.
Yeah, that pearl thing's gonna come back in later. I don't know. I originally, after watching it, my initial reaction was like, this episode was cool, but I'm not like super hyped for it. But after mulling it over and seeing some people's opinions on Twitter, I was like, actually no. I had to sort through my feelings. I was going through a lot of other things, mainly about my hair. But yeah, I really came around on it. There was a lot of great moments that Wanda had to show off her character and how she's gotten here. And it still managed to pose more questions, which I love how the show just keeps piling more on. We'll get to episode 9 in next week, and it's gonna be a wild one. All right, Ronnie's finally looks like he's close to done typing. He didn't hate the witches. He didn't love it, but he thought it was a cool idea. It was necessary to add backstory to Wanda and a little to Agatha. Again, feels more like setups in previous episodes. Yeah, to me it felt like a lot of exposition just jam-packed in. There were great moments for the exposition, though.
I do.
But at the end, I feel like it gave a lot of Wanda's origins that I feel like her character deserved. Yes, she was a character that hasn't really been fleshed out, and this is her time to shine in the show, and I totally agree with that. Because it's one thing to see the story of how she grew her hatred of Stark, but to see it, you really understand why the normal civilian has been said to feel. That didn't make any sense. Not a crazy episode, but definitely a necessary one. Yeah, I agree with that sentiment wholeheartedly. That this is one that we needed to see for her character to understand where we're going to go and how everything's going to be flipped on its head next week. And I love how it still managed to pose questions about her powers. And with that moment in the Hydra base with the Scarlet Witch comic-esque animated character thing, and then the hex spell of how that she actually may have saved her and Pietro because she's been a witch this entire time. Ronnie's re-clarifying the point that I didn't understand. Because it's interesting. Nope. Wait.
It's interesting from a civilian perspective of how the Avengers can see as threats because of the destruction they leave, exemplified by the missile and her parents' death.
Yeah.
So
that made more sense. Sorry. I was really confused. I was on the typo.
What did we think about it's alright, now like
oh dear. Holy
that
that was robot and like devil all at the same time.
It was more robot. But so like we had magic established by Doctor Strange. Now we've had it established.
Now we have chaos magic.
Well, now it's reestablished with
Agatha
that it's not just in the temple in wherever it was.
Okay.
So it's like it's a whole thing, and how Agatha was talking to Scarlet, like, how did you do this? You have zero training.
She was kind of the fans going, "What? How?
So, I think it's going to be really interesting with this final episode of probably the end credit scene of Wanda, I'm here to train you, blah, 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 blah. Because I bet you that's going to be what it is. Of, like, he's coming in to be, like, he's going to try to teach her
interesting call.
To, like, control it. And also the special cameo that Paul Bettany's
that's what he's saying.
With.
That's what Nick's saying, that Doctor Strange is going to come in and teach her. And
I almost felt that like that was gonna happen.
There are no strings on me.
With that last scene.
Yeah. I could have seen it. Matt, I'll let you what do you think about that? Do you think we're seeing Wanda teaming up with Doctor Strange to learn her powers, or do you think that something bad's gonna happen and that's why Doctor Strange shows up?
I think I'm clarifying, I think he's gonna be an end credit scene. After all is done.
Well, no, I got that, but
that was clear.
I agree with Nick. I think you put so much work into a series, you're kind of going to wrap the series up. You're not just going to immediately like go on a cliffhanger and do whatever. Like they're going to have a little Doctor Strange thing at the end, I'm sure. But I can totally see him kind of being involved with Wanda and helping her out. Yeah, as far as that goes, yeah. I don't know about any, like, I still don't know what the big quote unquote reveal is going to be with the Luke, like comparable to Luke or whatever. But yeah, I don't know how that's going to fit in.
Yeah, that's a piece I want to get into in a second. But for me, I think that whatever battle is going to happen next week is going to cause some problems, and I think that's why Doctor Strange comes in and goes, "You made this mess. You're going to help me clean it up."
It's going to be really bad for the economy.
Good Lord. Ronnie,
you don't think
in
he'll
the
be
chat-
a mentor, teacher, but more like a to explain it, and maybe it'll be.
I guess that'd go from bad to good. I think that's a possibility in the comic. She's more of a neutral character, maybe an anti-hero type deal. But yeah, do we think that there's another big cameo left in this or no?
Besides the big Luke.
That's what I'm saying. Do you think that
like
Luke cameo thing is, or do you think the White Vision thing?
I think it was Paul Bettany just being tongue-in-cheek about, this is an actor I've wanted to work with for a long time. It's
being himself.
Yeah. So I think it was might be a little more tongue-in-cheek than it actually is.
I don't think it's going to be another one.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a very slim chance, but at this point,
they've like all subverted everyone's expectations. Like, oh, Paul Bettany was just being tongue-in-cheek about it, and then they come in with some hot fire, dude.
Yeah, at this point, I low-key don't want to do a prediction segment at the end of the show, but we will, because I just want to go in and experience next week's episode for what it is, and not go in with these expectations and feel underwhelmed. I'd rather just let the story they have wrap up. Ronnie also doesn't believe there will be another thing, but he wants to go in with low expectations, similar to me. So if it happens, it's a good surprise. What do we think about Hayward kind of manipulating the narrative here? Because that was a thing that Hayward had already been kind of playing the bad guy card, as everybody else kind of figured out. But this episode kind of confirms it, with Wanda re-walking back through. She didn't steal Vision's body, and she kind of just left. Do we think Hayward's gonna, with this White Vision, is there gonna be like Wanda's kind of going 2-on-1 type, Wanda and Vision, because we know Vision's gonna come wherever the hell Vision is, he will be back.
He's in the sky right now.
Yeah.
The last time we saw him, he zoomed off. I can't remember if there was a setup scene of him going back over the house.
I wonder if he and Rambeau
Rambo's captured by Pietro. Fake Pietro.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of pieces to unpack there. Where do we think this is arcing to? Is it at an interesting place, or do we think Hayward's kind of just he's there to serve a purpose? Matt, what do you think about Hayward and his arc so far?
You know, I really don't know. I feel like I don't see him. I really can't tell you. I have no idea what they're doing with his character specifically, because I don't get the impression that he's tied with villains or anything, but I don't get the impression either that he's totally insignificant. So, no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. He's
stumped on that.
He's a character that's in a really weird spot.
That we're going to see the Mephisto connection, and that he's been manipulating things more behind the scenes,
outside?
Yeah.
That's like, still a possibility.
With Hayward and how he was talking to her, I don't see him having magical knowledge.
Yeah. I don't know. I definitely think that Mephisto could still be a thing. I'm just not 100% sure. It's such a weird place that this show is gonna, because it's supposed to set up so many things that it's gonna be so hard for us to predict outside of just overarchingly being like, stuff's gonna go really bad at the end of this.
Multiverse.
And multiverse is supposed to kind of go out from this. So, okay, Ronnie
just basically said the next episode is gonna be the end of Endgame, but the episode.
Doctor Strange opens 5 wormholes, and Patrick comes back to life from one, and Spider-Man comes in from another. But then he takes his mask off, and oh wait, who is this? It's Tobey Maguire! But then, from another strange portal, Will Smith's Deadshot walks through. The Avengers theme starts playing and builds up, and Deadshot takes off his mask and looks to his left and right and says, "What are we? Some kind of Marvel's WandaVision on Disney Plus?"
So it's just a big ad read. I don't think that's happening.
Yeah. It's like we're
Do we
talking
wanna
about
do
4 minutes underwear.
One more little topic before we move on to predictions. Do we think the title of... Oh, God. What's her name? What's her superhero name? It's not Wanda, it's the...
Scarlet Witch?
Scarlet Witch. Do we think...
I was like, how do you forget?
Okay. Do we think that's a moniker kind of like Jean Grey's moniker?
Dark Phoenix?
Dark Phoenix. Or like, yeah. Like, it's not like it's like...
It's like a mantle? Is that what you're talking about? Like it's passed down?
Yes, passed down, or it's an entity that possesses...
Yes.
She's been possessed in. I understand.
Yeah.
I heard it somewhere, so I thought...
I mean, that makes sense to me, that whenever she interacted with the Soul Stone, it got reawoken or something.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever had been sleeping through her bloodline or whatever finally woke back up. Ronnie also agrees with that. It definitely looks like the route that they're taking. Matt, what do you think about the Scarlet Witch and chaos magic of it all? Do you think that they're gonna... Do you think next episode really doubles down on it and we see the full extent of her powers?
See, I got a ton of stuff where I'm like, okay, maybe it can go this way, maybe it can go that way or whatever. But the thing is, we only have 1 episode left. So it's like, I'm kind of conflicted with what I want to see or what I think I want to see. But we're definitely at some point... I don't know if it's next episode or just in the future with another series. I think Wanda's gonna probably like take a step back and kind of see what the whole witch thing is about. Maybe that's probably with Doctor Strange. See like just the origin story of what's up with her powers, what's up with these other witches, stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, because from what we've gathered, this catapults into Spider-Man 3, which catapults into Doctor Strange 2. Which...
Say that again?
Whatever the finale of this show is, goes into Spider-Man 3, which goes into Doctor Strange 2. So, whatever it is, it's gonna be weird. And it's gonna be crazy, and... I mean, Kevin Feige, for the longest time, has been talking about that Scarlet Witch is the most powerful hero in the MCU. So... I mean, I think we double down on her powers, and I think a lot of blowing up of stuff happens. Because I mean, excuse me, I think we got like what, an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes of runtime next week, probably. That there's a lot that could be at play. I don't know if it could be 2 episodes too. Somebody was talking that they could split it and do 2 episodes next week on a Friday, like a sneak drop. I'm not sure. It's so strange because they were talking this week in some interview. Kevin Feige was doing a press tour for Disney Plus at TCA, the Television Critic Association, whatever weird convention thing they were doing online. But he was talking about how there's gonna be something in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness to talk about the events of WandaVision, because they have to realize that not everybody will have seen WandaVision before they watch the movie. So there's a weird connection line here that I'm really interested to see what exactly they do with it. because I think we talked. I don't remember if this was on a episode of the show that got scrapped or not, but Elizabeth Olsen in an interview had said that she could be appearing in Spider-Man 3. She's not really sure. And we know Doctor Strange is going to be appearing in Spider-Man 3. So there's so many weird things here. It's a web. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
That we're playing with a lot of things. But let's get into predictions. And if we don't really want to do predictions, we can just wrap up the show.
Do we want to do like one big prediction that everyone gives their opinion on?
I mean,
If no one wants to do predictions.
Let's just do predictions.
okay.
Okay. Jared, lead it us off.
I think Vision, Wanda, Monica team up. They break the boys out, and somehow they beat Agatha, but then the other Vision comes in, and because he was supposed to be another superpowered level thing, they all have to beat the thing. But when they kill him, there's something that happens. Or it could be flipped, that the bad Vision comes in, and then the Agatha thing. I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay.
Nick, what do you think?
Alright, I'm going to start us off hot. I think the kids and the bunny, they're going to have a fight. Whatever it is.
Cool. Do you think the bunny is Mephisto?
I have no idea, but I think maybe it just turns into a mutant bunny. I don't know. Something for the kids to do.
Strange thing. Okay.
It's just because, like, what else are they going to do?
Okay.
Alright, next to that, I think Mr. Jimmy is going to... Jimmy, I didn't want to say the last name. Woo. I was about to say Chew, and I was like, I don't think that's right. I think he's going to arrest Hayward. Ow! Could be my knee. Moving past...
Our camera fell.
Alright, and then after that, I think Vision's dying. I don't think he's living past this.
Which version of Vision?
I think both of them.
Oh dear.
Both of them are biting the dust.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
What was that?
I don't think it's gonna happen either.
You think he's gonna live?
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
They can't bring him back and then kill him off again.
We're just gonna hang here.
Sure.
Yes, I'm kidding. I don't know.
For Wanda's mental health, for her own sake, I don't think they can do that to her.
Does that work? Now no one can see my glorious haircut.
They can now see my thighs. That's
And
disgusting.
I can see your forehead.
All right, Matt.
Matt,
Predictions?
where are you prediction-wise for next week?
Obviously, there's gonna be a fight.
Obviously, we're getting a fight.
More fight.
Vision's
more
gonna help.
exposition next
Vision's
week.
gonna help Wanda. Darcy's just gonna be on the side doing
Comedic
something
relief.
random.
Oh, maybe
Darcy,
Darcy.
frees the kids.
Darcy feeds the kids.
Oh yeah, that's a good. Yeah, maybe. I like the bunny thing. I can totally see that happening.
Agnes with the ice cream truck.
She hits the... That could be fun.
That would be funny.
Oh shoot!
Sorry.
I forgot about Rambo. She's still there.
Yeah, I think the three of them somehow team up to fight
Do you
somebody.
think it's going to be Rambo and Wanda fighting together, or Rambo and Vision? Because I feel like it might be Rambo and Vision because of like him going out. I don't know. I feel like there might be a connection there.
Jimmy gets powers. He is the WandaVision. If they don't do that, they don't give my man's a break. Yeah, I mean, I think we're all really clueless on what's going to happen.
We're all just kind of spitballing, trying to just do what's fun. So,
Ronnie's got some very interesting ideas here. You think WandaVision fuses with Hayward Vision to become his own Vision. So we get a third iteration of Vision, essentially. The bunny craps on the kids, and Pietro and Monica are really... They're just here. Jimmy gets powers. He is the WandaVision. So, yes, we're not going to... Predictions is fun to do, typically during the middle of the show, but this show is getting to the point where we really don't need to do predictions anymore. But I think that's it for us. It's a shorter episode than last week. Probably going to go up tonight. Hopefully. But thank you guys for tuning in. Like the video if you enjoyed what we got to say. Comment your thoughts on next week's video. Comment your thoughts on us.
It's free.
Subscribe. Helps the channel a lot. Turn noties on. I'm going to try to be uploading more during the week, but we're getting toward midterms, so we'll see if that happens. Because I've got thoughts about the Superman and Lois show. We're going to have a 2-week gap in between WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier. In between that, there will probably be an episode focused on Raya and the Last Dragon. Not really sure. Just spitballing that here. I'll have to discuss that with everybody.
We need an Attack on Titan episode. We need one.
We could do an Attack on Titan thing. I could just...
Is it like ending soon? Because
No. There's so much more to that. They're talking about seasons. They're splitting the season.
So they're actually
what are we talking about?
They're
Attack on
splitting
Titan.
the season?
I thought you said there's
For
2
what?
parts? Or a third part?
Okay. So they're on the final season, but after episode 16, they're saying they're going to take a break, and then they're going to do part 2. So part 1 is the first 16 episodes, which are still going. I think I'm on 12 or 13 or something. And then they're going to stop after 16, and they're going to pick it back up. Who knows when? Because the manga is still being written.
Dope.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means I actually get caught up with it and
Yeah,
then watch it as it's released.
There'll be time.
Because I feel like when watching it as it's being released is so much more hype than watching it continually.
Okay.
Move on. Let's all right, the show's done.
Snyder Cut, Raya and the Last Dragon. We'll see. There's 2-week gap. Maybe we'll bring in more news. We'll see. Just thought I'd keep you guys in the loop. Yeah. Thanks for watching. And goodbye. Peace.